The changing the culture is really the shift from a warrior mentality to that of a guardian and a community builder. The solution to our problems in our most challenged communities does not lie in a pistol and a pair of handcuffs.
To describe the Camden story, you have to understand the people.
Camden, yeah, we're tough. We're tough people. We're strong. We present ourselves as being hard, but we're social people.
I remember growing up in the early 70s, people walking out their houses to go to Campbell Soup, General Electric, RCA, you know, men and women earning a living wage.
We call this the city of gold. We're right next to Philly, 3 hours from New York.
I've always loved Camden. It's our city. It was a beautiful place. And then
they say Camden is the city that hope forgot. The poorest city in the nation and the most dangerous city all in the same place.
We're 9 square miles, and at one point in time, we had about 175 open-air drug markets. Our per capita income is less than $13,000 a year here. Heroin, cocaine, marijuana, in some regards have become the economy.
Without that highway, suburbanites wouldn't come up here. They stop right here, turn right back around, go back on the highway.
the opportunity for kids to see bodies in the street before school, after school, family members being the victim of violent crimes was the norm. And many neighborhoods, you know, were left almost to fend for themselves.
Our kids couldn't even play outside. It was like as if the drug dealers had taken over.
A mother had lost her son, and she challenged me as the police chief and said, "What are you doing to make sure that I don't have to bury my next son?" That right there was the line in the sand moment for me. Camden's my hometown. It's where my roots are. I wanted to try to make people's lives better. I worked narcotics in the city for almost a decade. I locked up drug dealers. I did a great job. But at no point in time did we ever ask the question, well, they're still out there selling drugs. What we're doing isn't working. Why are we continuing to do it? When are we going to change the metrics of success as a police department and as policing individuals? By the time I became the police chief in 2008, I was the 6th leader in 5 years. So I had seen an organization start to really devolve from the inside out. A negative culture had embedded itself, rooted in apathy, lethargy, and even corruption in some aspects. It had gotten to be a department where you could be the best cop in the world or the worst cop in the world. There wasn't a standard. I was committed to try something different, to do something that had never been done in New Jersey before. Seldom in life do you ever get the opportunity to hit the reset button. I really didn't care about your past. I didn't care about your gripes, your grievances. I told the officers in the neighborhoods, I don't measure the number of arrests you make, and I don't care how many tickets you write. We want you to build relationships. What I want to see are people sitting on their front steps and children riding their bicycles. Generally, the only time we ever knocked on somebody's door, it was when bad things were occurring. It was either a moment of crisis or a moment of enforcement. But when people saw that we were there to help, when they saw that we would be in that neighborhood with a greater level of frequency than the drug dealer who was standing on the corner, people welcomed that.
We started giving the community back its neighborhoods strategically. Princess and Wildwood was one of our most dangerous corners in the city. We made it one of our safest areas just by presence. Of course, we had to lock a couple people up, but once we did, we stayed there.
Hello, how are you doing today, sir?
And people actually were speaking to us, and I would ride around on a bike with the officers, and they would clap, give us standing ovations as we rode down their blocks. It was amazing.
You are given an enormous amount of authority and power with that badge that sits upon your chest. You are the only entity of government that is authorized to utilize deadly force upon its citizenry. That is a tremendous amount of authority. And it's something that we have to ensure that when it comes the time that we have to do that we have exhausted every other option. This is about a culture of de-escalation, not just training in de-escalation. Culture is a shared set of values or beliefs. Culture is not a rule, it's the standard of which we hold each other to.
The reason why people call the police is because they're in the worst time in their life, and at that time, we're the only ones that can help them resolve that problem.
You just stay away from me.
Great, we're here to help you.
Remember, keep the tactical L.
No.
You're covered.
Stay away from me.
You want your gun out. Down at the low ready.
I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to kill myself, so just stay away from me.
Listen, you don't want to do that.
Remember,
No,
keep distance away. Distance. And stay behind cover.
Cabri, if you just put the knife down.
Find out what the problem
Okay.
is. Remember, you gotta try and fix it.
He doesn't understand. You don't understand. Nobody understands. Nobody cares.
We do. And that's why we're here.
Nobody cares.
Tell me what your problems are. Tell me.
He made me take medicine, and then it makes me see things, and I don't want to take it anymore, so that's why I drink. But he doesn't.
Slow it down and take a step back, and you talk. And that changes everything. Empathy is key. Honestly, I truly do believe it works.
You can't negotiate with anybody if your weapon's downrange at them like that. That's all a person sees. You can't just have all brawn and no brain and no morals. The mental side of the training, it reduces that gray area. It makes you stop and gives you that second to think, to make that right decision. I come from an old police background, and I was in SWAT, TAC Force. I lived for action. I wanted to kick in doors, chase bad guys. If you'd have talked to me 4 years ago, when I'm riding in the back of a SWAT truck, about to hit a door, and told me that a walking beat and a couple of bicycle units could clean up the city, I would have had a few choice words for you. But it did. The Chief's plan's working.
I think that many of us in law enforcement and justice, post-Ferguson and post-Gardner in New York City, unfortunately became very myopically focused on the facts of the incident in and of itself. If you really listen to the people, what they were talking about were the perceived inequities on thousands and thousands of occasions that occurred prior to that. And the incident just basically served as a flashpoint. When I allowed myself to really hear what was being said out there, I think there is a tremendous amount of validity in it. There needs to be dialogue with the people in my community, and these don't need to take place in town hall settings.
He got off his butt and came into the community. And he made himself known at various businesses, and I give him credit for that. It should have been done in the 40s. People of color have always been victimized. It's time for rebirth, and you see it happening. But look what it took to get to this point. So where do we go next?